So if we've got the modulus function, let's take a look. I just want to have a look, particularly question part A of this question. I'm going to have a look at another type of question that's kind of the opposite of this. Okay, so part A of this question is nice and simple actually. If you think about, if you take a look at it, it kind of looks a bit like the completed square form. If that was a bracket, we would have the turning point of a quadratic. It's the same as how this works. So the actual point P is minus what's in the bracket and the same as what's outside of it, and it's as simple as that. Okay, and you get a mark for each of those. This has been quite a common question in the last couple of years from Edexcel. But now, if you don't believe me on that complete square form part, it might just seem a bit straightforward. Obviously, you can see that's minus 3, that's 5. I'm just going to show you a different type of question that you might see. Just as I said, this came up 2 years in a row, 24 and 2025, I think. But I'm just going to take a look at how you would sketch this graph if we didn't have it. That would be the other way they might ask you this question. So if we sketch 2 y equals 2 plus 3 plus 5, and that will show you how I know what this is. So your starting point with these is, if you think about the line y equals x, we know that's just a diagonal line. So that's just a line that's going to go. First mark for this is going to be drawing the modulus. It doesn't matter how perfect. That's y equals the modulus of x. Just make sure you've got a V shape and not a curve. Yeah, it's the same. That'll get you 1 mark if you sketch one of these. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the graph transformations on it. So we'll start with the what's inside the brackets. If you remember first year or even from GCSE, if it's inside the bracket, it affects x, and it does the opposite of what it says. So instead of adding 3, it's actually going to minus 3. And your next kind of logical step for this is, well, if this was y equals x, that means the gradient of this part is 1, and the gradient of that part is minus 1. So if the gradient of this is 1, and it's 3 away from the y-axis, then that's going to be 3. Because for every 1 we go to the right, we go 1 up. Okay, so that was y equals modulus of x plus 3. And then if we take a look at another step, then we're using BIDMAS here, so I'm timesing by the 2 first. So we do y equals 2 brackets, x plus 3. That's why I put this coordinate here, because now on that. So this is outside the brackets, so it's going to affect y, not x, and it's going to do as it says. So that's not going to change, because the y coordinate here is 0, so that's going to stay at minus 3. Alright, but it's going to stretch this. Instead of being 3 now, this is going to be 6. It's going to make it steeper. Okay, and then the last step of this, got y equals 2 brackets x plus 3 plus 5. So now I've got a 5 outside the function. Okay, and so we know that's going to affect y, and we know it's going to do the same as what it says. So instead of this being 6, I'm just going to move that up as well. That's now going to be 11, and instead of this being at 0, it's now being up to 5. That's still at minus 3. Okay, so that's how you would sketch that, and that's also how I know that the coordinate of that is minus 3, 5. Okay.